Welcome to the Works of Wonder podcast. This podcast was inspired by the powerful message of Beyond Words, the art of effectively communicating with your children, written by Dr. Beth Long. Beth is a licensed professional counselor, a board-certified behavior analyst, and the founder of Works of Wonder Therapy here in Montgomery, Alabama. Each week, we'll talk through real stories, practical tools, and faith-rooted insights that help parents lead with grace rather than fear. We hope you enjoy it. All right, welcome back to today's episode. We are going to talk about making the most of your time with your children.
Ooh, big topic.
That's a loaded topic.
It is.
You share that children today are developing skills later than previous generations, and that's deeply concerning.
It's terrifying. Honestly, it's
scary.
terrifying.
When did you first notice the shift?
I noticed the shift. Okay, to be completely honest, my first job out of college in my second job out of college in 1999 was a high school teacher.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Well, I love that. Yes, great. It was a great way to start my career. My favorite part of teaching was sitting and talking to all the students. So I thought, got to move to counseling. Anyway, so that was my first job. Then I went back into the school system years later as an interventionist. And the difference between those two groups of teenagers was honestly shocking. And if you ask any teacher, they'll tell you the same thing. Like the incoming kindergartners are completely different than they were 5-10 years ago.
How so?
They're just not nearly as ready to do anything. Forget academic skills. Like they don't understand basic instructions in the same way. They don't, like if the teacher says line up, of course, a lot of kindergartners have never done that before, so they don't know it, but their ability to like be taught it and practice it is very different. The impulsiveness level is extremely different. Like they're just a different breed of children almost. It's a little shocking. So in the book, I talk about how instead of figuring out why we're having this massive difference, the CDC just changed developmental milestones.
Oh, that's nuts.
It's nuts. And it's very, so they did it under the guise of some things will be caught differently. And that may be true on a few of them, but also there's a lot of things that they just push back. Okay. So people are not going to be as worried, but we should be worried.
Okay, I have like an example. I just took he just turned 1, so he went for his well check, and I was a little bit worried. He doesn't talk a whole lot. Granted, he's the 5th, and so
can't get a word in edgewise.
Right. And his siblings, they talk. So I just had that in my mind. I brought it up with no concern, but she said that he's only supposed to have 2 words. And out of my 5, I'm pretty sure just within the time period that 2 words.
Yes, because not that long ago it was like 25, right? Yes.
And then so that surprised me. Why do you think the gaps are getting bigger? Why do you think that the threshold is lower?
I believe with all of my heart, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, but I believe with all of my heart, it is the distraction of the parents, especially to media.
Ooh.
It's just too easy.
It's easy.
And we are, I mean, sometimes it's like quote unquote good stuff, right? Like we all have email on our phones that we're expected to answer, or text messages that we're expected to answer. But also scrolling and wasting time. But my children were born in 2001 and 2003. They were probably the tail end of the children that never looked at the back of their parents' phone.
Oh, okay. I didn't come wanting to be convicted. Thank you for that.
I mean, but it's heartbreaking, and then we see it flush out in our children and their development and their ability to socialize, and right, like it's so I think there's a million things we can look at, the toxicity of our environment. Absolutely. Right? There's so many variables that we can look at, but that's one that we know for a fact has changed in a short amount of time. So right? We do this thing in behavior analysis called Occam's razor, and it just means the simplest explanation is usually the right answer. And the right answer is probably the parental distraction to media.
Yeah. We talk all the time about limiting kids' screen time. Don't put an iPad in front of your kiddo, which is also a hot take.
Yes.
And don't let them just have free range of TV, right?
Yes.
But we don't talk about parental restriction and conviction.
No, we really don't.
Why?
We don't. I think maybe cancel culture, maybe.
We're scared.
But also I think we are all guilty of it, and we're convicted of it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, even though my children are adults, I still have to make an extremely concerted effort to not look at my phone. And my son, he's kind of trained me a little bit. Every single time I look at my phone when he's visiting, he stands up and walks away.
Oh,
yes.
I love that.
It's very wise. Right. And so I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, because I'm happy he's there and I want to spend time with him. But a little bitty child doesn't do that, Right. So I think that's why a lot of people aren't talking about it.
I have so many personal feelings. So many personal feelings. So how can families talk about this shift in the threshold getting lower and the expectations being lower and personal convictions? How can they talk about this without leading in fear?
I think one is you just have to accept the reality.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have little bitty kids, you have to accept your face-to-face time with them is required. For them to grow into what they are supposed to do. You have to spend a lot of face-to-face, not distracted time with them. So then that's just a reality. As children get older and media becomes a reality for the whole family, I think you have to have extremely intentional conversations around how can we all manage this well? Because I'm sure you've already heard it, but pretty much everybody who works with us, you would be shocked at how often older children complain about how distracted their parents are by their phones.
That was my next question.
It's heartbreaking. So accepting that reality and then having the conversation of like, what do you think we should do? What do you, should we make a rule? Absolutely no phones at dinner time. Or, after dinner, we have a game time where nobody's allowed to be on their phone, including the parents. Just finding a way to be intentional.
Have you had much time to think about encouragement or wisdom for parents and people who work from their phone? I mean, we're just entering this world of social media, and
yes,
it has been hard to turn it off and to be with my kiddos.
Yes.
Because it's work.
Yes.
And that's a justification almost in my mind.
Yes.
But they don't know that. They just see the back of my phone, like you said.
Right. Exactly. I think number one, like I personally, managing people, and I'm not perfect at this. I want to get better, but I try to email people instead of text them because I feel like people look at their text much faster than they look at their email. So I think if you manage other people, you have to think, how is this going to impact Elena's family time, or how is this going? So thinking like that, but then also using the do not disturb button or using the it's a kind of toxic that we expect people to get back to us immediately. So reframing our opinion of it or having conversations with people at work, like I will not get back to you until after my children are in bed, or, having that response ready so that you can copy and paste it.
Yeah. And
if people get upset, realizing that is a them problem, not a you problem, because your family has to be the most important.
Right. And working through the fear of missing out, the FOMO.
Yes.
Because I mean, sometimes I'll miss a call from my sister. And in the 20 minutes that I take to call her back, she's already called my mom and my other sister and worked through whatever problem she was calling me for. And so just understanding that the slower pace comes with some missing out, but we talked about in a previous episode, that's okay.
It's really okay. It is okay.
Especially when it's for the benefit of your child and your relationship.
Yes. Because I'm sure that my children have said to other people, my mom's on her phone too much. I'm sure they have. But like, if you remember that, who do you want to let down? I was really struggling with balancing work and family, and a friend of mine, her name's Lane. She just looked at me and she said, "You're going to let somebody down. Who are you okay with letting down?"
Okay, Lane.
That was it. I know. I was like, well, thank you, Lane. I'm done with this conversation. That's all I needed to hear.
That's good. That's good. Okay. You say children are longing for a place where people run to greet them. And that is just, what does belonging look like to a child?
Belonging looks like, right? It's that same feeling that we all get when we walk into a place and people are like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're here." You know? Yes, that's funny. I was just thinking that. And so it's like we have to be ready to do that, but then also being willing to include them in just the normal everyday life, even though sometimes it takes a little bit longer if we include them. But children don't, there was a research study that Brene Brown did about this. And what she really kind of learned is that what's most detrimental is when children don't belong in their family.
Oh,
yes. So we think all the time about social skills, right? And like, oh, well, that person's left out at school. That's not nearly as detrimental as them not feeling like they belong at home. So when we're too busy, when we're distracted, when we're not making that child feel like they belong and that they really matter, and we have to.
Okay. I feel like that is harder to do when they're chronically online. The teens, I'm thinking like teens and older kiddos. Yes. Boundaries have to be in place so they have the chance to feel like they belong.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How can parents do that?
Number one, if you asked me what's my biggest parenting mistake, okay, I have a million. I probably have 20 million, honestly. But one of my biggest parenting mistakes is getting my son a video game. And he was older. Maybe 12 or 13 was when he started. And we kind of, quote unquote, did a lot of the right things. We didn't let it be in his room. We put it outside of his room. We, all of that stuff. It was still, the pull to that was much more than the pull towards us. And so whenever we introduce something like that we know could distract our children from family life, that we put a massive boundary around it.
Okay, I need practicality here.
Okay.
Because this is a question from the crowd, meaning me. I have a kiddo who... we do roses and thorns at dinner every night, right? Favorite part of the day and not so greatest part of the day. His favorite part is always the TV time that we have every single day. And I partially think it's because it's right before dinner. It's when we get to cook. That's TV time. So it's probably just freshest on his mind.
Right.
What can I do there? How can I make TV time not so exciting?
I think, that's a good question. Cause it could be a million variables, but I think saying, but didn't you also enjoy something like a connection time, just to help children? Because I think there are children, especially neurodivergent children, who don't value the people time as much. Like that's just honestly the way their brains are laid out, and they don't value it as much. And so we have to go out of our way to help them learn that people matter most.
Yes.
So we have to model that people matter most, but then we have to, so you might want to say, that's great, but also wasn't it great when this people experience happened, right? So that's one way. But then also if you've just got really strong boundaries around distractions and your child has that little bitty tiny exposure, they're going to love it.
That's true.
And that's okay, right?
That's all
but
right.
You're doing the right thing, but it's okay that they love it. Because if that's their every moment of the day, that probably wouldn't be his rose. So that just means you're doing a great job. Good job.
Oh, no. Thank you. You describe shared experiences as helping kids feel seen, appreciated, liked, and loved. Why are these 4 so powerful?
Those are the right? The components of belonging.
Yeah.
Right? Seen, heard, liked, and loved. But also those shared experiences build the stories that your family will remember forever. And I was telling a counseling client this week that I remember my dad. I need to call my dad actually and thank him for this. But I remember my dad taking me running every morning for a season because I really wanted to take up running. Not my favorite activity, but do it. But anyway, like your children don't know at that moment how much of a sacrifice that is.
For sure.
But they have no clue, right? Yeah. I remember, like I was a dancer and a swimmer. Okay, swim meets are 2 days long. Huge sacrifice of my parents. And then the recital season, huge sacrifice of my parents. But of course I didn't realize it. So what those children remember is that you were there. You showed up. They were seen, they were heard, they felt liked, they felt loved, and going out of your way to do that, even though it is a little sacrificial, but it's a game changer for that child.
Families with multiple children, maybe one is an athlete and has something like that, and the other one doesn't. How can you give those 4 to that child who doesn't have the sport or the music or?
So I'm probably going to say something else that's not super loved. One is join that child with whatever they love, whatever it is, right? But there are children out there who don't know their thing that they love yet.
Right.
So going out of your way to spend the time making it. What I wish we had known as parents and we didn't is that the more a child does something, the more they like it.
Okay.
So my husband is an avid fisherman. He loves fishing. He took my son a couple of times. My son didn't really like it, and so we just stopped taking him because he didn't like it. What we wish now is that he had kept taking him and kept taking him and kept taking him. And the more he had done it, he would have ended up liking it. So also don't be afraid to kind of, right, there's a balance there. You don't want to make your child miserable, but we're all uncomfortable when we're learning new things. So don't perceive their discomfort with learning something new with, oh, they don't want to do this activity with me.
Okay.
Because if you give it more time, they really might love doing that activity with you.
Okay. What gets in the way of creating these intentional shared experiences? What doesn't get in the way would be an easier question.
You're right. Everything gets in the way.
Everything.
Just the busyness of life, the noise, the distraction, and once again, it's just creating those boundaries around your family, prioritizing that family time. Nobody is going to love your children in the same way that you do.
That's right.
And they need that so much developmentally. So make it a priority.
Yeah.
It's just vital.
An easy way to do that, and you are super passionate about it, are games.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yes.
Let's talk games. Why are they such a powerful way to teach skills and to build experience?
Okay, I love games. I love games. Both of my children love games. My entire family loves games. So maybe I'm a tiny bit biased, but I've never met a closely connected family that does not play games together. And I feel like I have to clarify because every time I say games in a counseling session, people include video games.
Oh, no.
No, I'm talking about old school card table games, whatever, right? So like true, like actual face-to-face games. But not, they build that connection. They build those stories. They build those things that stick with children forever. Every time we play games, we all still quote my grandfather, because my grandfather would say, "You're going to talk, you're going to play. You're going to talk, you're going to," and we every time, but right. So it's like these little tidbits of our family are embedded in these experiences that will go with my children forever. So that, but then also they do build a lot of skills. I feel like so many parents want their children to sit down and do a math sheet. You can throw out 2 cards and go, what's 6 + 2? And it's so much more fun than a math sheet. And so just taking when you play those games, knowing you are not wasting time, you are building skills, you're building experiences. Like, oh, please take the time to do that.
We just got a game for Christmas called Space Race, I think it's called. But it's like a math game.
Oh, fun.
And it's super fun. It's nice for my kindergartner. People with multiple kids, young kids, age ranges. What can we do?
I think so. Right, that is just a reality of the season. And so having the older children play the games with the younger children is a great way to help them learn how to teach, but also how to have grace and tolerance and all kinds of things, right? Which you're going to have to sit there and like oversee to make sure that they're doing it well. But over time, that's a great skill for the older kid and the younger kid. I'm also a fan of, if you have different ages and stages. I learned this from a mentor mom a million years ago, and I loved what she said. She said, it's really hard to be the oldest. So create ways to make them feel valued and special, because they have to sacrifice a lot.
They do.
They really do. And I'm not the oldest, so I have no idea what that sacrifice is like, but it's a lot. I'm sure it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and stay up a little bit later with the older children. Ugh. I mean, even if it's 20 minutes, like there's a lot of games you can play in less than 5 minutes, but that makes them feel valued and special and wonderful on so many levels. But it also gives you a chance to do those things that you cannot do when the little bitty ones are running around and they'll eat the marble or the magnets or the whatever.
Have you been to my house? Every day.
Whatever is left out.
Oh my goodness. Okay. A social media plug for Beth is that Dr. Long shares her favorite games on her TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And there's a ton of them from like all age ranges, some that are even fun for just adults. Me and my husband played Blink for
it's so fun.
The entire quiet time the other day. And it got heated. He didn't win a single time. I'm just saying. Cannot keep up. So make sure you go head over there and find all of those games. She has links to all of them. And there's a bunch that are really fun. Okay, this next one again. I feel like sometimes when we sit down and talk, you are really just trying to lecture me. And you peeked into my windows. All right. And I
hope it's encouraging.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%. After I cry, I feel very encouraged. So you mentioned listening without fixing. Oh my gosh. Woo, that's a big one. Why is that so hard?
It is so hard. It is so hard. And I fail at it a lot. And I mean, still at 24 and 22, every time I see my children, I give myself a little pep talk before, like, do not jump in there and try to fix it. Just let them talk. And I do still fail. And I think our motives as parents are great, but we shut down the conversation.
All the time.
And I'm going through a little bit of a struggle right now. So when I don't talk to a lot of people about it because I know they're going to give me advice.
Yes.
And I just want to tell them the story.
Just listen.
Yes, just listen. It is hard, but learn to do it. I mean, I literally bite my tongue sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm dead set on not jumping in.
I, in high school, yelled at my parents, just let me feel my feelings. Because they still to this day will say that to me every time. Like, just let me feel. And why is that so important for kids? Why is it?
Is it right? All emotions are welcome. All behaviors are not, but let them have those emotions and let them talk about them. That's how we learn to embrace them. Mm-hmm. They're not something to be fixed. Mm-hmm. There are lots of things that your children need your advice and your wisdom on, but it's okay that they're sad. It's okay that they're frustrated. It's okay. And they just need to be validated. It doesn't encourage any bad behavior. It just allows them to be comfortable with the discomfort.
Yeah. Well, I feel like teenagers will quickly jump to, not just teens, kiddos too, and younger as we go on, big phrases, scary phrases.
Yes.
And we as parents jump to the fear, jump to that future, like we always talk about, immediately seeing their future based on this emotion, when in reality, it could just be them needing to like articulate how serious they are feeling, right. Even if the words that they're saying aren't true, aren't their actual intentions.
Right.
The feeling is severe and they need you to know that.
Yes. And they just need you to listen and validate it. Once again, I'm not saying validate inappropriate behavior, but validate those feelings, because they don't have control over them. We don't have control over them. They just are.
Right.
And as soon as somebody kind of says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, me too. What can I do to help?" Everything changes.
All of this is just so good. Hard truths. What can you leave parents with as like an encouragement to be more present when they're filled with guilt? What can they do now if they've led in distraction and not intentional time? What can we do to encourage them today?
Okay, so I'm going to say two things. One is a trick from DBT therapy, which is dialectic behavior therapy, and it's called opposite action.
Okay.
And opposite action is for anybody who knows about Seinfeld.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the episode where George did everything the opposite?
Oh yeah.
I love that episode.
That's a good episode.
Well, I pretty much anyway. Seinfeld's hilarious, but it's the opposite action. So it's I am exhausted. I'm sitting here. I'm doom scrolling. Nope. I'm going to do the opposite action. Right. So like just truly being intentional of catching yourself not doing what's going to make you feel great at the end of the day, stopping it and going and doing it. So it's just a great tip to just, catch yourself and go do the opposite thing. The other is I'm going to leave with Lane's words of you're going to let someone down. Who are you okay letting down? And it can't be your children.
Right.
So
that is good. Okay. Well, your presence teaches more than any lecture ever could, right?
Yes. 100%. Yes.
All right. Well, be sure to follow us on social media. Works of Wonder Therapy has Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Dr. Long has Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All of that will be below. There are a ton of topics like this and more and funny stuff too. Make sure you pick up your copy of Beyond Words, The Art of Effectively Communicating with Your Children. It's on Amazon and it's affordable and it's full of this kind of practical wisdom for parents. And it just really encourages you to move without fear. But yeah, thanks for this conversation.
Thanks so much. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And always be kind and honest because it works wonders.
It does.